Setting boundaries doesn't start from when you get into a relationship. Setting boundaries is with yourself. You know your do's and your don'ts. You know your limitations. You know what you want to do and you don't want to do. So once you get to begin to study somebody, you just outline these are some of the red lines for me. Things I would naturally not want to do. And so when people do that, it means that they want to stay in their space. Do you understand?
Sure.
You'll be in your space of respect, and then you offer the person the space of respect. If it is well done, which also goes with communication. Talk with whoever you are in the relationship with. So we have the individual boundaries, and then we have the corporate or the relationship boundaries, where the two of us say that these are some of the things that we wouldn't want to do. Once you communicate that, it makes it quite easier to be in your relationship. Regardless, as we are setting boundaries, we are putting aside forgiveness, because some of us are black sheep, so we might break the boundaries along the way.
So in this case, how do you communicate your boundaries to your partner?
It is one of the first core of communication you start before you get into a relationship. Before you start in a relationship, you have the privilege to slate who you are. Don't think that you get into it before you start who you are. No, you have the privilege to put down your do's and don'ts. And so these are very important, subjects. There's no how. We don't have a special how. It is when we start talking, wanting to know who we are, then we talk about some of these.
But some people are very difficult.
So it's part of it. If you know that the person that you're going to start a relationship with is not going to respect your boundaries, then you have to make a decision whether or not you're going to be in the relationship with the person or not. Because if this is my boundaries, I am the type that will not want you to get into my cell phone. Okay?
Sure.
Once I'm setting that boundaries, I should also be able to imitate, or I should be able to say that I'm not touching my partner's cell phone. I can do that. You don't get into my cell phone because I'm hiding anything. You don't get into my cell phone because it's a mix of work and private life. So I don't even know what you're going to look for. So I would also have to set a boundary for myself not to go into your cell phone. From the beginning, when we start talking about this, and the person says, well, me, I can't do that. I'll always have to get your mobile phone to go in. Then you know that.
Some people will tell you.
Yes, then you know that.
Sometimes because of insecurity.
Yes, but once the person starts that, the boundaries we set is not for the other person. We set it for ourselves. Do you understand?
Yes.
You set boundaries for you, not for the other person. It is for you. These are some of the things I can do. I can have sex before marriage. It's a personal boundary I've set for myself. So the other person coming should be able to respect that boundary. But if the person said, oh no, I can't do that, I have to have sex with you, then you know that it's a typical no-go area for you. Because there's no amount of love you're going to show the person that will let the person believe in that boundary that you have set.
So that means no. What are some of the areas in the relationship that it's necessary to set boundaries?
First is your sexual life. Second is your finances. Third is your family. Fourth, I can add friends to it. Okay, so family and friends together. And the fifth will be documentations. I don't sign any document in a relationship when I don't understand it. Any document that I think that is probably going to affect my next year when I'm not too sure I'm still going to be with you or not, I must just be slow about it. Sex life. There are people who are one man, one woman. That's their sex language. There are people who are also multiple. They multi-have sex, but yet they love one person. Yeah. So if that boundary is not set right, you end up going fighting somebody that really it was just a chronic situation the person have. Finances. You don't abuse. This is how much I can give you every month. Do you understand?
Sure. You
have no right getting into my account or asking me for ATM cards or any other thing. Family. It's important we set boundaries with family. When I have issues with you, you just don't call my mother or my father to let me know. I hear people that, I was pregnant and I called his mother to tell him about it. Hello? That's wrong. If you're pregnant, speak to the person you are pregnant with first before. How do you feel when you come back home and your mother tells you, a lady called to say that he's pregnant for you? It doesn't go right. And so you know when to speak to family, you know when not to speak to family. You know what to say to friends, and you know what not to say to friends, right? And then the last one will be documentations. I don't think that it is appropriate for you to start signing things and doing joint businesses and all of that when you don't really, have a clear direction of the relationship. You start doing stuff. By the time heartbreak will come, then it's difficult for us to break some of these things. I said that once you set boundaries, you put forgiveness aside, beside it. If it's been disrespected once, two, three, there are times that you can know that, okay, this is just unconscious stuff. But once you know that it is a typical attitude of the person, then you advise yourself. Relationship is more about you and less of the other person. And it's not more about the person and less of you, it's more about you. You have to be in the right mind, right? So if they are continually disrespecting, breaking your boundaries, then, well, I'll hear, lady, I'm in love with the person, but let's see how love is going to help you with that. Sometimes we get a bit careful when we're advising people who are in love, because they hear with the right ear and then they exit the advice, they hear with the left and it exit from the right, because they're emotionally connected, so they don't get to listen. If somebody keep disrespecting you, you can't love and disrespect. It doesn't work like that. Honestly, for men, they don't even understand love. The language of a man is respect. If you respect a man, he understands how much you love him.
Yes, that is our version of love.
Yes. So for men, it's respect. And so if you keep disrespecting him, his authority, bruising his ego, then what exactly are we doing? What are we doing together anyway? Like, how is that working? It's not going to work. And for women, it is the emotional, and it's also come back to respect, the emotional presence and all of that. So you can't say you love somebody and then you disrespect the person and disrespect the person. When you disrespect my boundaries, you disrespect me because I set them. Or when you disrespect the boundaries we have set, you have disrespected the two of us anyways. And so you just have to advise yourself. My child is part of me. Your child is part of you. Unfortunately, once we didn't have those children together, it means that there's the other parts who are also involved, like a baby daddy and a baby mama who's also in the picture. Now, to set these boundaries, first off, let's clearly define what's the role of the baby mommy and the baby daddy if they play roles. Their roles is, periodically to visit the child and support financially. Is that it?
Sure.
Okay. And so that is an underlying role that we can take away from them. Then the second will be, now that we are together, how do we make the children understand what we have? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Without necessarily disrespecting me or the other party, the baby mommy or the baby daddy. So this is what we do. Let's have a clear conversation about our children. When would we want to introduce each other to our children? How do you want our children to address us? Don't automatically expect the child to call your newly boyfriend a daddy when he already knows a daddy in his life. It gets confusing having two daddies. So which daddy is which daddy? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Don't expect your girl, your child to start calling your new girlfriend mommy when he already has a mommy. At their age, they might not understand why we have to have two mummies at the same time. So obviously one will be an uncle and one will be an auntie for a while before, they will understand that this is how, So addressing is one. Two, in our share of gifts, are we going to gift the children together? Is my child your responsibility, or is the responsibility of the baby daddy or the baby mommy? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Don't assume that, okay, because you're in my life, you take total responsibility of the child. No. I would always advise that you don't give total responsibility of your child to anybody. You have to play a role in it. Do you understand?
Sure.
So we talk about gifting, then we talk about visitation. Because of the children involved, we might not be doing some things like 3 days sleepover, having sex all over. We can't do that. If